Well, thank you so much, everyone, for being here and sharing space together. My name is Dr. Shaelyn McLain Sims, a faculty member here in the Department of Mind Body Medicine at Saybrook University. And I was feeling so called to bring in a meditation today that is focusing around the inner nurturer, the inner coach. Here we're coming up on Valentine's Day, which, always prompts just some extra reflection on how I care and love for myself, in addition to those who I love around me and in my relationships. So I invite you to embark with me on this brief meditation as we go into that inner nurturer and call them forth into our life and into this moment. So I invite you to just check in with yourself right now and notice how you want to be. Notice how you want to listen to this meditation. Do you want to be seated, or does it feel better to be lying down? Or maybe you would like to be standing. So just do whatever you need to be comfortable and to really let yourself settle, and just creating some space to be. And if it feels comfortable and welcome to you, to gently allow your eyes to come to a close. And this helps us to turn our awareness inward. And of course, we can do this with eyes open, but sometimes having that shutting off of external stimulus can be most welcoming. And just bringing a sense of ease into your body, softening the corners of the eyes, allowing the cheeks to melt. The jaw can relax. And noticing the state of mind. And there may be some chatter, some busyness, and that's okay. And so just noticing that. And whenever you do find yourself getting carried off in that chatter, because it will happen, remembering that you can come back into the body and into breath, into that felt sensation of being alive and present right now. And noticing distractions and returning to presence, relaxing the shoulders, soft shoulders. Arms are loose and heavy by your side. And releasing your grip in the hands, softening the fingers, the palms of the hands. Opening up the space in your chest, widening your heart. And physically inviting the front of your body to expand, bringing the shoulders physically back, and then letting them drop. And softening the belly. Let the hip flexors and the low back release. And let yourself be supported. Aware of the legs and aware of your feet connected to the earth. And let your body breathe itself. So right now, there's nothing to do, nowhere else to be, nothing to achieve or become. And what we're doing is cultivating awareness for the self. And there's no right or wrong way to do that. Just simply opening up to whatever arises for you during this meditation. It all belongs. Just coming back to the breath anytime. Coming back to the sensation of the air on the skin, the sense of temperature. Coming back to the whole body and how it is existing in space. And all of these things link us to presence. And if you feel yourself spinning out, At any time during this meditation, just return to the breath, moving in and out through the body, letting the body breathe itself, noticing the energy with that in breath, and then the release and the letting go with that out breath. And coming into a bigger space, a bigger sense of awareness, checking in with that deeper knowing of you. And we are going to invite the mind and the whole experience in, and as best you can. And as thoughts come, let them just float in this bigger awareness. So I'd like for you now to reflect on what happens when you make a mistake. And this could be something small, like forgetting a friend's birthday, or spilling a cup of coffee, or maybe it's something bigger, like you make a mistake at work that has bigger implications, or you make a mistake in conversation. Just really letting yourself feel that whole experience. So you've just made a mistake. And what are the first thoughts that pop into your head when you've made a mistake? And maybe you need to visualize an experience and then notice in your mind, heart, body, what happens. You've just made a mistake, big or small. What are the thoughts that come up? Seeing if the inner critic or the inner judge appears, and notice what they say. Bring that inner critic into the forefront of your mind's eye. And as you do this, notice how your body feels. You've made a mistake. You know you've made a mistake. Notice your face and jaw, your shoulders, heart, belly, back, arms and hands. Where in your body can you sense the inner critic coming forward? And what does that inner critic have to say? And now shifting gears, still considering when you make a mistake, but now I would like you to imagine yourself describing this mistake to a close friend. What would that friend say to you? A friend who's honest and kind and supportive. How would that friend reframe this mistake and give you some perspective? So that's the inner nurturer, the inner coach. And we can start to develop that, and to develop it by imagining one of our good friends or loved ones speaking to us. And so just listening to what that inner nurturer, what does that friend, that loved one have to say to you about that mistake that you've made? Okay, and now bringing another situation to mind. So consider when you leap a fear barrier. So when you set a boundary, or you speak up for yourself, or you prioritize your own needs, when you intentionally put your own needs in front of other people's needs, and just envision that really clearly in your mind's eye. And then notice if there's any pushback from the inner critic. There's usually always some sort of a pushback. And so what does What does it have to say? And what are the phrases or the words that the critic uses? And how does your body feel? Again, noticing where that inner critic is showing up in the mind, heart, body. And again, I want you to reframe. So, what does a loved one or a close friend have to say to you in this same situation? What would you say to a close friend in this situation? And then let yourself open up to that support and kindness. And then, last situation that we'll bring to mind. So, imagine yourself going on social media or maybe checking the news or doing something where you slip into a comparing mind, where you might compare your physical looks to other people or your creativity or just comparing your life in any way to someone else. When you're in that space that encourages a comparing mind, does the inner critic show up in those moments? And what does the critic have to say? What are the exact words? And then noticing how this feels in your body. And then once again, reframing. What would a loved one or a close friend have to say in the same situation? And then go ahead and repeat that in your mind. Those supportive words, those caring words spoken by someone who's close to you, and saying that to yourself. Really returning home into your body and feeling that you are inhabiting your body. And we've been doing a lot of mind work. So coming back into your body, taking a few deep breaths, relaxing your jaw, softening your shoulders, your belly. And take your hand and really gently place it on your heart in this gesture of kindness and care. And you could take the other hand and place it on your belly, or really do whatever feels supportive. And just taking a few breaths here, and trusting that you are lovable just as you are, and recognizing that you are imperfect. We all are, and that's okay. So the hand on the heart and hand on belly, or whatever feels good, and calling upon that inner nurturer or coach who is honest. And so we're reflecting with honesty on these situations. And there's a layer of kindness and support to that. When you make a mistake or you leap a fear barrier or you enter into a comparing mind, and is there a word or a phrase that would be helpful to bring to all of this and into your awareness and allow you to make a U-turn from that inner critic to the coach? Noticing what you need right now and what words of support would be helpful. And breathe with this. Let them flow through your mind, heart, body. And now, as we come into the end of this meditation, you may be feeling a need or a desire to expand on this experience through writing, express through writing this experience. So, I invite you to take a few moments and go ahead and do that if you're feeling so called to put pen to paper, capturing anything that felt important to you from this experience. And as you feel ready, reawakening again to the body, and coming back in your own time and emerging back into the world. And thank you so much for joining me here today.